1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, why don't you stop that?
From Rixie, this is Debuff, and I'm your host, Steve Skeels. Welcome back to Debuff. As always,
Welcome back, boys.
yay!
I did that the last episode, and I could not stop laughing in the edit. Just that honk honk yeet.
I missed that.
Because it's like they don't work together at all. It's really funny to me.
I like it. Yeah, we're back. Steve, Sean, Mason, as always. We're here. Just ate some wings, drinking some beers.
How you been, man?
I'm doing all right. Been playing some games, not as much as I'd like to, as always, but hanging. How about y'all?
Have you been playing any games? Any games?
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've just been playing Stardew still.
Still.
Like,
shout out to Vector Squad or whatever they're called.
Shout out Vectrex enthusiasts.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
you got Danielle and Dude, so y'all have been pretty much playing that all week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she, I was telling her, I was like, I'm going to buy, she bought it for me on the Switch when it came out for Switch, because I was like, I really want to play this game. And then so I played it a lot, probably like 30 hours, and then I put it down for whatever reason. And then I started playing it again, and I was like, yo, you really need to fucking play this game.
She likes games like that. I mean, like Sims and Animal Crossing and stuff she'd be real into, so.
I mean, exactly.
It's a little different, obviously, but continue.
But yeah, I mean, so I bought it for her, and then we both been, she started a town, I don't really know what you call it, a farm? She started a farm on her Switch, and basically won't play it unless I'm playing with her, which is fun because, the more people you have to take care of the chores makes it a lot easier. Like, one of us can be like, all right, I'm gonna go fuck off in the mines all day. You take on all, watering the plants and the chickens and go fishing.
Yeah.
Because for those that don't know, I haven't played it, so Sean, you give a little bit more, but it's you are on a time frame to get stuff done, right? Like, what do you have, a year to?
So, I mean, yeah. So each day is it totals out to be 13 and a half minutes is a day, and so each hour is 45 seconds, I think. And so from 6 a.m. and the latest you can stay awake till is 2 p.m. And if you hit 2 p.m. wherever you are, you just pass out.
2 p.m.
I'm sorry, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. 2
2 a.m. Wherever you are at 2 a.m. you just pass out, and that means you lose money because you go to the hospital and all this stuff. The days go by super quick, but in every season is only 28 days. So you have a time frame of growing crops that will be a part of that season. So you can only grow parsnips in spring, and parsnips take 4 days, so you can get a shit ton of parsnips in a single season. But some vegetables will be all right, you have to wait 13 days for it to actually start producing crops. So you want to plant those day one of that season.
Yeah. How long is the in-game day?
13 and a half minutes about.
Oh, is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah. So
sorry,
I mean,
it's
I mean, I think that's the average. Let's see, Stardew day length.
But it is cool because for people that played Animal Crossing, where you're tied to the actual time of day and whatnot, for something like Stardew Valley, if you sit there and grind, I mean, you can get through as many days as you want for however much time you have. So, but you basically don't want to fuck off for a day, right? Because you limit yourself. Maybe there's not a lot you can do one day, but that's where, like Sean said, you go in the dungeon. I don't know, there's a lot going on, it seems like.
So I think a day could last 15 minutes because there are 20 hours from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. the next day. Each hour total is 60 minutes, obviously. Time passes in 10-minute intervals. Each interval equates to about 7 seconds in real time. So every 10 minutes is 7 seconds. So what is that? About 900 divided by 60 equals 15, which is 15 minutes. 900 being equated from 45 seconds in an hour to 20 hours.
Yeah, I can't do that math offhand.
I did it with a calculator, but I could be a little bit wrong.
I'm following, but regardless,
Regardless,
the
are you
main
having
point.
fun? That's the
Oh
real.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this is episode 2 of me talking about the same game. So I should probably wrap it up here quick. But
Why don't you fucking
I mean,
wrap it up?
it's a cool fucking game. Like, there's even though it's like definitely like a farming simulator, it doesn't feel like that when you're playing the game. Like,
I really want to try it for sure.
You guys snorting smoke up there?
I mean,
'Cause I don't
yes.
know what you're talking about.
well, you should definitely play it. It's
true.
like $15.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I'm
on Switch.
I'm
so
thinking about it. I need to watch a few gameplay trailers.
I think you'll find that it's a boring gameplay trailer.
But that's
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay with boring. I just I want to get the vibe.
So 4.9 out of 5 at GameStop's website, 4.8 out of 5 on Best Buy's website, 4 out of 5 on Target's website.
Well, I
are
don't
good
use
numbers.
those for reviews, but
just saying,
everybody says that it's a good game if you
Yeah.
like it.
those are promising numbers.
I just googled Stardew Valley Switch, and those are the ratings that came up.
and that's where you're playing it?
on Switch.
Switch?
Yeah, I didn't buy it for PC because at the time, like, I was like, I don't really want to have to sit down and play this
Yeah.
game if my
Yeah.
Switch can run it, right?
I get that.
It's probably fun to play, bite size sometimes, like hop on, do some
Yeah,
stuff.
do a couple days if that. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, you can't save midday, so like you have to finish the day. Otherwise, when if you turn it off,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yeah, I was going to say.
But that
if you
realistically,
pause it-
it's 15-minute
yeah.
intervals. So
So it's not
It's
that
not-
bad. I mean, you can pause it if you're playing single player. If you're playing multiplayer, though, you cannot pause it. So
Yeah, okay.
Danielle and I will take bathroom breaks on the changing of like the day changes, and it will show you everything that you put in your box to sell, and it'll total up how much money you made that day, and there you can click OK to start the next day. So we'll go get a beer, or start the next day at that point.
That's pretty lit. So
Yeah.
I have a handful of things on this list, and I want to spit one of them out, which I thought was really cool. And I think the video that I saw, I think it was like February 3rd or February 4th. I think it was IGN. Did you guys hear about the leaked GoldenEye remaster?
yeah,
So the most that I know about it from that video was obviously maybe 10 or so years ago, probably more, they'd had Rare Replay, which we've talked about before in this show. And one of Rare's biggest, I would say Rare's biggest franchise was GoldenEye on the N64. And somehow, some way, this Xbox GoldenEye remaster surfaced. And some guy whose name and link to it I'll put in the description played the whole campaign of this remastered GoldenEye, and it's like, why would the thing that they said was
I didn't know all of that.
it's so finished that they must have canned it like right at the end.
The thing is that I think it was Phil Spencer, someone I think works for Xbox, like Microsoft works for Xbox, or that division, said that it's the rights to the game are
Yeah.
way too challenging. Like
That's what I was gonna say.
because they own Rare, but it's not like they own James Bond.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like certain people own the movie rights and certain people own the
Yeah.
gaming rights, and like
It's a shame though that if what
It's
you're
such a
saying is
shame.
that they basically made the game and then we're like, we can't release this.
I
But
mean, so this was I found the tweet. It was 2015. Somebody tweeted at Xbox P3, which is Phil Spencer. You should try to come to an agreement with Nintendo and Activision for the Rare-developed GoldenEye remake that never came out. Phil replied, GoldenEye rights are so challenging. Looked at this many times. Lots of different parties to work with, so we've always given up. And I mean, it is what? Nintendo, Microsoft,
probably like Universal or something.
dude, yeah, a shit ton of Eon, the people who own James Bond movie franchise.
yeah,
So yeah, they explained it in this video who owns what, and it's a fucking rat's
Yeah.
nest. And I know, I mean, I
it's
know
so
that's
stupid, dude.
I mean, I know that's why so many of the things that we've talked about we want to be ported. It's all those same reasons that 9 different entities own these rights. But I definitely recommend checking out that video because this random person was just playing the whole campaign, and it just I feel so bad for that team of
that worked on it.
devs that made the whole thing and ported it, and it looked great and it worked. And they were like, "Yep, nope."
It's sad, man.
All
like,
that years of
Yeah.
probably work you just did.
To be fair, though, that kind of thing happens more often than we know, right? I mean,
yeah,
there's
but
been
this is a huge game.
Sure, but I'll also throw out there that as much as this is probably blasphemy to many people, GoldenEye was a great game. A remaster, though, I feel like could be cool, but I personally think that like GoldenEye lives in this age, the N64, where you try to bring it now and it's going to be still fun, but I don't think it's going to be the big seller like it was back then.
it's the rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, I played it at MagFest again when we were there, and it's not fun because I haven't played it in forever. The controls are whack. Like if you spend time with it, I'm sure it's a good time again. But
so on that same note, I'm gonna jump.
That's fine. That's all I had. I just didn't know if you guys heard about it.
Did you guys ever see like years and years and years ago, probably 5 years ago, maybe longer than that, the guy who was working on the Unreal Engine 4 remake of Ocarina of Time?
Yeah,
and did it look really shiny? Did the textures
look
look really shiny?
Great. Like if compared to Ocarina of Time, it looked really good, right? Like it was a little bit more, Unreal Engine, I feel like, is shiny in general in most cases.
well, I mean, it's also not like you talk about it more, but it was one dude that did it, and it's not like he probably spent a ton of time making sure the lighting was
so I mean,
perfect
he
for the demo he showed.
He put up a video after like 5 years of the project.
Yeah, I walked in on Sean watching it the other day, and I watched some of it.
He was like, dude, get out of my room.
It was the living room.
Ocarina of Time meets Unreal Engine 4 5 years ago. And then 2 months ago, he uploaded a video with the same title, but Castle Town plus Temple of Time. And then he uploaded another one shortly after that, titled Why It Took 5 Years and What's Next.
What'd he say?
And basically, he was like, I feel like I had a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like, I didn't feel like I was good enough. And he's like, I was going to school to learn this shit and, like, trying to explain to my parents why video games are something that, there's a lot of money in, a lot of profit, but it's hard to break through. He ended up getting a job and working on other projects and doing other things, which delayed, any more updates to this. And he was like, I was just kind of doing it for fun, but then I was like, maybe I'm not good enough to do this, blah, blah, blah. But what he's finished, it's obviously not the whole game, but just Castletown and the Temple of Time look incredible. Like, and so he said, like, I want to release something so y'all can play with it. And I also am thinking about releasing the project files to people who would be interested in working on it, but I'm not just going to post it on the internet because there are a lot of things that I purchased and textures and things like that I bought to make this happen, so I can't just basically release it like that.
Because Unreal Engine has like a store part basically where you can buy assets people make. So
it's such a thankless job.
Yeah.
Well, he did it as like a passion project too.
Well, yeah, but I mean like modding and doing these Unreal updates.
But a lot of people do that for like to get experience, which is exactly what he did, and then it blew the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5 million views, I think, on that. 2.6 million views on that first video 5 years ago about this.
I watched it probably 2 or 3 times. I mean, it's like Sky Oblivion. It's like any of those Bethesda mods where it's like these like literal like huge teams of people working on something that like it is just a mod. It is
so this would be a whole
but this is
remake
this is its own entity.
Which he would get an immediate cease and desist if he tried to put out the whole game anyway.
So he's never going to get paid for it.
I mean, but I just think it's a cool
even
cool
for free
thing.
He would get a cease and desist from Nintendo.
It sucks because like I honestly have felt a little bit bad for the guy because he was like, I put that project down and I was like, maybe I should have just finished it, and then like I had imposter syndrome, which is like a fucking terrible thing to have about any situation. Like
that sucks.
Yeah, but he was doing it in college too, like so it wasn't like he had like a ton of free time. It was like you said, learning about it, and he did it as an exercise essentially.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it blew up, and people were probably like, "Where the fuck's the rest of this? Where's the fuck?" I mean, we have 2.6 million views. You're gonna have people up your fucking ass about finishing it, right?
Yeah.
And if you're one person, Get real.
Get real. Let's see.
It's
Buddy,
true.
You're not making a lick of sense up there.
Yeah, I got tons of things on this list. I'm just
That's
gonna
the
rock
end of
through
that.
'em.
If you haven't watched that video, I would definitely check it out. It's called Ocarina of Time meets Unreal Engine 4 Kakariko Village by I don't know how to say your name, and I'm sorry if I'm
Be
butchering
in the
it.
show notes.
Yianni Papazias. It will be in the show notes.
In the descript.
In the descript.
So I watched the video today. That's fresh on my mind, and I don't know. I had never seen it, and that's why I was kind of intrigued by it. The world record speed run of Pokemon Snap for N64. We're just in the N64
Yeah.
loop right now. Have you guys ever seen a Pokemon Snap speed run?
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
No, I have not.
Dude, there's one part. There's one video I watched where they talk about how they would just tilt the camera down to speed
Or
up,
up, yeah.
or up to speed up the frames of the game because
It didn't have to render.
It was rendering nothing, and then they would just
Yeah.
lift it up, take the picture, and you go right back down.
It's one of the cool, dude. It's crazy because the timing on that, like even in the first level, he snaps a couple pictures of Pidgey and a Pikachu playing with like a Pokeball. He tilts the camera up to the sky and waits for like what has to be 30 seconds. And how you get down this timing, I don't understand.
Monsters.
But then comes down right when he gets another one like Kangaskhan or whatever it is. And the world record, I think, is 19, maybe 20 minutes, which this guy's timing on the photos, like, I mean, because you need expert timing just to play the game and get the best photos.
Was yours the Speed Docs documentary?
No. It was a guy reacting to.
Oh, the Speed Docs one is really cool. The any percent speedrun world record
I'd
history.
like to see that.
That's the one I watched. I will
gonna
text
watch
it to
that
you right
tonight.
now.
And it's always so fun to see old N64 graphics. That's half the fun for me of watching speedruns is seeing a game
Look
on
shitty.
the original hardware looking as it did and seeing Pokemon Snap and just how soft and like low poly that game was and it's amazing. It's an interesting to see a game like that
No, that's weird because it's an
Speedrunned
on
it.
rails game.
Speedrunned
You can't go faster, really.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
what's-
linear
yeah.
like chosen speed
Yeah.
track.
So that's funny that like the trick is to look up so it renders faster. Like that shit is
Yeah,
or
it's like
not
these-
rendering so it goes faster.
Yeah, it's these
rather.
minor optimizations
Yeah.
of a game that is
But-
technically the same
But
speed.
also, like, there were some weird things in the one that I watched where they would just take a picture that would be considered by the AI, if you want to call it that, in the game to be a good photo.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, like, you know, if there's 2 Pokemon in it or whatever, they would take that picture, but it's like barely 2 fucking Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, whatever the criteria was is
Yeah.
like
I'm looking
Not
back.
good.
I watched that in 2019, so I could be wrong about a little bit of this, but I
No,
definitely
I just
remember.
looked the world record on speedrun.com 6 months old, so I don't know what.
Oh, okay. Well, I think
Unless it hasn't been uploaded, it says 20 minutes 30 seconds. or
Yeah,
something,
I
so.
mean, the video I watched, I think, was uploaded in the past week or so.
I mean, yeah. So
Maybe
I don't
it's-
know how what this.
But apparently, there's this one guy who is like the master of the Pokemon Snap speedrunning community, and he has like 6 records in that community for that game.
Is it
But
Gunlap?
It might be.
I don't know. He's the one on speedrun.com.
It probably is him, but apparently whoever this guy is holds a lot of the records, or it's like he's in contention with 2 or 3 people. But really, really awesome speedrun watch. And then obviously I've just got quickly another speedrun thing. I've seen Pokemon Blue speedruns in the past, and did Summoning Salt or Easyscape do a video about Pokemon speedrunning?
I think he did.
I feel like he did one about Blue and Red. When you look that, tell me if you find
Yeah,
it.
the
But,
world record
Yeah,
progression of
Yeah.
Blue and Red.
so
5.2
but
million
but
views.
wait, is that 100%?
It's probably any percent.
Because
no, it's just the world. I don't know. I don't think I've watched this one. World progression of Pokemon.
I can't
Red,
imagine
Blue
you can get
speedruns.
100% in that because that'd be catching every Pokemon.
And you
Well,
need 2
no,
cartridges
yeah,
to
not
do that.
yeah. I'm talking about any percent, but I'm wondering if his video is about either one. But I'm talking about any percent.
Oh,
which
you just said the views.
which,
Never mind.
as
Anyways,
far as I know, it may have been lowered, but the official any percent world record, I believe, is 8 minutes and 40 seconds. And if you know anything about the any percent speedrunning in Pokemon games from the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy, it's a lot of rewriting. I think it's RAM, but parts of the parts of the memory, and so the whole speedrun is essentially you get to Professor Oak, you pick. I don't know if it's important which one you pick. It might be, and then it's all about RNG, right? It's all about, do I get a Pokemon in the grass? Because this is such a quick speedrun.
yeah.
You're like, dude, if I get hit in the grass, like I'm going back because that's at least what 15,
you said
20
8
seconds.
minutes?
8 minutes and 40 seconds.
Dude, that's been
On Pokemon Gold.
Oh, I'm looking at Red and Blue. That's Red and Blue. Any percent not glitchless is 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Not. Oh yeah. So I wanna throw this out there before we stray too far. That I enjoy the glitch runs to be like, oh, that's crazy what they do, but I feel like I don't get as impressed by it because I'm like, oh, you broke the game and you beat it in 9 minutes. Like,
yeah,
it's cool to see for sure, but when people top that, it's like, oh, so you just glitched slightly faster.
Yeah,
like
you input the code a little bit.
Yeah,
faster.
like it's definitely cool, but the Ocarina of Time speed run with glitches is you basically skip the entire game and just fucking fight Ganon as young Link. It's
I mean, so on that same note of like doing things to beat the game faster. I watched a video yesterday that was uploaded in January about speedrunners who were putting their Famicom or NES on a hot plate.
I swear I saw a thumbnail
to make it go faster.
Basically, to basically cause the game's RAM memory, exactly what he's talking about, to fucking like blip out and give you 99 health on like all of your fucking characters in Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
like just to heat the fucking thing. So they were
it's
all
wild.
So
wild.
What's funny is that some guy figured out instead of using a hot plate, you can actually make it colder to have the same effect. So you're not running the risk of damaging the system by heating it up. Because I mean, essentially, you're gonna fucking melt the shit out of your game console. But they figured it out somehow, and it has to do with like the same. It's basically the same thing that happens when it says do not turn your system off while you're saving. Because it's writing shit, to that flash RAM. It would be the flash RAM on the cartridge or wherever the game is being saved. I had to think about that for a second. And in that same process, you could the guy figured out the glitch because you could turn off the game while you were saving, and at a certain point in the game, that would automatically give you 99% health. But then someone else figured out, oh, I can heat my console up at this certain point.
But that's so weird. What is going on physically that causes temperature to create, like, modify the zeros and ones that are happening in the...
Dude,
that's so weird, dude. I want to know the actual, like, mechanism of that.
The crazy thing about this is like, the way that you're reacting is completely, like, justified about... Like, this is insane. Like, how far have we come? But the thing is that, like, I feel like it's just a matter of what's going on now. And in however many years, like, all of these things that's like, oh, it takes 8 minutes to finish Pokemon Gold. Like, it's like, dude, we can finish it in, like, 30 seconds now.
Maybe.
I feel like there's always an improvement to be made.
I mean,
it's just crazy now, but it's going to be so much crazier in the future. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing. Like,
well, see, yeah, but
and that's got to be its own fucking category at this point.
Like, yeah, like
so
physical
ridiculous.
Manipulation of the hardware. Like, that's a fucking category.
You're not even playing anymore. You're literally just cooking your fucking system.
So it's conductivity of the electrical components goes up with the temperature as the temperature increases. So like the conductivity of the RAM is going to be like, oh shit, like I'm more susceptible to like changing my 0 to a 1 with static electricity because it's hotter, right?
Yeah, but that's just so
I mean, it's definitely a weird.
I just feel like I want to read like the full explanation of how the fuck that works, because that's weird.
I will text you guys this video. It's super interesting.
Bizarre.
I mean, again, I could be butchering what he said, but it is still the cool like idea that to and at the end of it, he was like, really what defines a speed run and what's allowed is the community around it, right? So like,
Yeah.
is should this be allowed is really kind of up to the speedrunning community. And so, you know,
That's allowed.
Yes.
basically, yeah. I mean,
The one time it came in handy.
So, you know, to say like, all right, modifying the hardware is a problem. You can't speedrun by modifying the hardware. Is this considered a modification to the hardware if it's environmental and you're changing the environment?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yeah, but that's why he said it's a different category, right? It's not.
got to be its own category.
It could be. I mean, look, maybe it's fine, but it's. I mean, you're doing something deliberate to change how the game works.
Well, wasn't there an issue with Ocarina of Time speedruns when they figured out? I think it was called like ARM adjustment, or like where they were doing this. They weren't doing physical manipulation of the hardware, but they were rewriting in-game code based on like certain movements. And
I feel like
there
that's
was
part
a
of the
big,
glitch.
There was
though.
a big
that's,
debate
but that's
about like
maybe. But
is this okay? And I think they made their own category for it. So that's what I'm saying.
All
like,
right, I don't
these are
know
the
anything
debates
about
they're
that.
having.
I'm just saying if you're playing the game and change things, that's different than putting your fucking console on a hot plate.
I mean, it's a crazy.
It's wild.
I don't know how.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right. Anyway,
But
Well, it's
before
the same thing like we talked about last week. We can move on, but like waiting 17 hours to move
Yeah, no, I
a
mean,
foot,
yeah, that's a
I
different.
finally watched that
that's a
video.
different
it's
category.
ridiculous, but like that's how they do it right now, and it's gonna be different in the future. But like, yeah, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
not
feel like
getting
one
out-
day someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, I shoot my console and it just fucking."
I break
Yeah.
it and I finish
I
the
get
fucking
the
game because
it's
it's
like
broken.
okay. Well, all right. Before we go too long on that, I another thing that's kind of speed running, but also just more interesting on its own. We all checked out. None of us watched the whole video because it's ridiculous. But
I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna turn the fan on. It's hot in here.
all right. Basically, someone did 100% no hit run of Breath of the Wild. Every Korok seed, every shrine, everything. Took them around 40 hours. I didn't even attempt to watch that, but I watched part of like the last couple hour VOD or whatever on from Twitch, and
it's impressive, dude. I mean,
that's just nuts to me. Where something like Dark Souls, where people are like, "Oh, it's so hard, no hit speed run," but that takes hours. It's not like over a day. You know, like people that get the game down can do it so fast. 100% maybe takes a little bit longer, but like Dark Souls isn't really a long game, but people think, oh, it's hard. But fucking Breath of the Wild to go for 40 hours and never get hit. I mean,
the thing is that it's, and the thing that's impressive to me is it was 100+ tries.
oh yeah,
know,
yeah.
dude.
This wasn't like he was. I'm just
How
gonna
many
do it.
days?
Like, yeah. So I
is
mean,
that?
you
could've
could
gone-
get 39
yeah.
hours in and get hit, and you gotta fucking start over. Like the one hit obliterator quest is hard as shit.
Which
like-
one is that?
So that's where you get the weapon where you hit everyone once with it and they die, but if you get hit once, you die.
I don't know if I know that one.
So
Well,
it's
it sounds
part
like
of the-
you're not
it's-
supposed to
it's-
get hit anyway.
It's
Oh,
part
it's
of the
DLC.
DLC. So
didn't have the DLC.
oh my,
Oh, did he do the DLC too?
my God.
I actually don't know.
Yeah. Again, I didn't look that far into it because I just saw it and I was like, this is a lot. But I mean,
When
to
you-
just
That 40-hour run.
Oh, okay. So it says he'll try it again with the Master Trials downloadable content installed, which is more difficult than the base game.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean the Master
But that's
Trials.
insane, dude. Either way, like
Yeah.
to go 40 hours in that game and not get hit, like even if you use the bow the entire time to stay back from people,
Yeah.
like that would even be almost harder because you don't have like infinite arrows, right?
Yeah.
Like
Well, dude,
Bruh.
there's two incentives.
It's true.
Right? There's two incentives. There is one to be the first one to do it, but the second one, which I think is all more important and like financially viable, is that he's Twitch streaming the entire time.
oh sure, yeah. I
And so
mean,
he's hopefully making money from that, from playing that. So it's like
Let's see
it's
how many
actually
subs
giving him a
he's got.
reason to do it because it becomes almost a day job where it's like I
Yeah.
want to do this thing and maybe I get paid for it.
well, that's what like a lot of speedrunners do, right? I mean, they
He
do the
only
same-
has 8,000 followers on his
wow,
Twitch.
yeah, that's insane. But hopefully he blows up.
This is
I mean-
all these articles are going to help him for sure.
Well, this was like days ago, so I'm surprised he hasn't gotten more. But still, I mean, you're not wrong, and he's going to get a lot of publicity from that. But
yeah,
I mean, that's what all speedrunners do. A lot of the top names, it's not like for one game you go and look at some crazy achievements people have done, they're mostly not huge streamers. Like
Yeah,
and-
he did any percent of Mario Odyssey in an hour and 4 minutes. Pretty crazy.
Mario Odyssey. I
yeah,
got
you got
something
another
about
one. Yeah, let's,
this fucking podcast is turning into a speedrunning podcast.
well, it seems to be like a lot of what you watch. So.
It's what I've been
it's
watching.
super interesting stuff. Like,
It's
just
so
so
it is cool.
interesting.
the
And it's
stuff
a
on
part of
YouTube is
gaming.
I mean, the stuff on YouTube I get totally fucking sucked into. So
Yeah, and there's more and more every day.
maybe we should just ban it from the next episode. So
No, I said it was a speedrunning section and just talk, but we'll figure it out.
no, we're not going to talk about it again next week.
Okay.
We absolutely probably will. But
But-
so last week we talked about me finding out about low percent. Was that the first time you guys had heard of it, or was that?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that-
that's what we basically said is that
I can't
it's-
remember.
It
that
just
first.
sounds
it's
strange.
under miscellaneous when you go to speedrun.com.
Oh,
So
okay.
like every time I've looked at the record of something, I've never clicked on miscellaneous.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. But there's a speedrunner named Small Ant 1 who started this channel called Lowest Percent, which is where that original like 17-hour rupee video was. And he is I don't know if it's like full-time, but like at least a part-time Mario Odyssey speedrunner. And the low percent category for that is the least amount of captures with Cappy, and the like a month into the game being released, the least amount you could do was like 16. And he goes to the video and shows how they started chipping away at all these different captures, and I think it got down to 3 captures, and one of them is in the beginning of the
Where
game
you have to.
when you have to use the cap to use
get
the
the
power
frog.
line.
Oh, the power line?
Like when you throw the cap,
Yeah, I
and
know, because
you zip across.
there's a couple parts where, yeah.
And so
Okay.
those are the ones that usually that I think are still left, other than I think maybe Bowser at the end. And
Yeah,
it's a
'cause you
wild
have to get
video.
Bowser.
That's the how speedrunner beat Mario Odyssey without Cappy almost. That popped up on my feed.
well, I think it's by the channel Lowest Percent.
Yeah, that's the one.
It would be crazier if you
And
guys
that's
had
it.
played Mario Odyssey and know how much you have to capture.
Well,
stuff.
dude, I got it from Santa Claus, Santa Steve.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
I'm gonna
Like,
crack that giant.
check it out because I mean, it's fun to capture stuff. It's like not necessary for most parts of it. So when you brought that up earlier, that you had seen like the lowest amount of captures, I'm like, that's pretty interesting because I'm sure there's ways around it, but there are multiple times where like the power lines, or maybe there's a way, but at the beginning of the game, like you have to capture a frog to jump really high, and I'm sure there's a way out of that by doing some crazy shit. But
Well, yeah, I think that was one of the original 16, but like you can like do these very specific
Oh,
jumps
yeah.
to get up the platforms.
Right.
But one of the most interesting ones that he explained was the first place that you land, the first stage, you have to fight the big bunny woman with the chain chomp, and you have to capture the chain chomp to beat the boss. And what they figured out was you need 6 moons to leave the stage. How many moons can you get without doing that so that we can remove one of the captures? It was so cool, dude. Such a good video. Like, I'm so fucking like enthralled by that shit.
I do feel like that would be pretty interesting because, again, I like the glitchy stuff, and maybe they have to do something to get by, but that is interesting because Mario Odyssey, as we've also talked about, that it's more open than like Mario 64 or Sunshine or Galaxy, where it's basically a big playground. You go get however many you want, and then you can move on. So when I played, I just got as many as I could, and then I left.
Yeah.
And then when I beat the game, I went back through and tried to get as many as I could in each stage. But there's totally some that you can do super quickly, or if you know what to do to get to a place without capturing someone,
Yeah.
I'm sure you could like whittle that down very easily. And the maneuverability of Mario in that game is ridiculous. I mean,
there's so many like extra like cap movements I think you can use.
because you can jump, dive, throw the cap, and then dive into it again, and then bounce off of that, wall kick, then do the same shit. Like it gets pretty intense.
Well, one thing that was kind of crazy to me, and this is across the board, this is not just with Mario Odyssey, but when there's a new strategy found for any speed run, the adaptability of those speedrunners to just like over however many days or weeks or months to learn those things that are like, this is a frame perfect trick, and there's only 2 frames when you can actually land this actual strat. It's like, it's crazy. Like, how do these fucking guys I mean, they're masters. I mean,
Yeah,
these
I
are
mean,
like
and some
top
of it is
the line fucking players.
straight up people look in the data and see how that works for some games.
Yeah, and it's not
crazy.
necessarily what I'm saying is finding it. It's more as like these runners like just going fucking crazy and actually figuring out and being like, yeah, I can do that crazy, frame perfect trick.
So go ahead. Steve.
And it probably gets easier, but like,
well, sure, but that's what the reason we like the TAS speed runs and playthroughs of certain things is because that's theoretically the most perfect. And TAS, for people that don't know, is what tool assisted.
It's tool assisted speed run.
Yeah, so it's like you just set up a robot to basically do all of the movements perfectly, which takes out ideally the human error.
yeah,
And some of that shit is crazy. You watch the Mario 64 like perfect. People can do some of that stuff, but to do it through the whole game is insane. Like, you just can't fuck up at all.
Well, and so I recently watched a video, and I mean, I feel like we should probably get off this topic because we feel like we've been talking about it for 37 minutes now. But
It's been like 30 of them.
I watched a video about like who is fucking finding these,
yes,
and so one guy in the Wind Waker HD remake, like the remake of Wind Waker,
Linkus.
No, it's not. The guy who found the glitch was, I think he was emulating it and had his control stick off by like a hair. And there's this glitch in the game where if you move forward with in first person with any item, and then move the joystick back a hair, which is where his was defaulted to, your speed grows exponentially the next time you move. So like, he would move forward and then like release the stick, and it would go back to where, center's here, and it's down a hair.
It's off center,
and then he would move forward and just like zip across the fucking map, and he was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And finally figured out what was happening, that his joystick was off by, and so now people have figured out you can do that in any version of the game. You don't have to emulate it. It's just a fucking bug in the game that you just zip. And that's basically how they're able to, I mean, if you've ever watched a Wind Waker speedrun, they will just fucking like be on an island and be like, okay, I need to go to another one, and just like go first person and then just shoot across the fucking map. Like,
dude, that I just watched a video about
nuts.
it was titled The Luckiest Speedrun Ever. I think it was Easyscape. It was about Wind Waker and Linkary's run, about like, it was mostly about RNG, but he shows that water trick where he zips through the water, and then every time he's on land, it's like he turns around and it's like,
yeah, that's exactly what's happening, dude.
It's so ridiculous.
It's that exact glitch. And the same guy who found that one was the one who found out how to get through the wall when you're in Hyrule Castle. There's like a weird section where the wall isn't necessarily, or the barrier is not necessarily touching the wall, and there's a small gap that you can just like kind of fucking like glitch your way through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're talking about like in the Hyrule, like the invisible.
Yeah, the invisible wall. So he was
crazy.
the same guy who figured out how to go super fast was the same guy who figured out how to break through that wall, which is like, it's super crazy to me. Like that. Just
I always wonder that. Like,
I don't feel like I have the patience to sit in front of a certain part of the game to figure out how can I do this the wrong way. Like, how can I do this a different way that is not intended by the developers?
I think that's kind of its own like subset of individuals that are not necessarily speedrunners, but they're
called glitch hunters.
Yeah, glitch hunters that just like they
It's a
look
passion.
for those. They look for those holes in the game.
I
Literally.
slightly different, I guess, before we get off this topic, but I saw a post on Reddit, and maybe I can find what the original comic was, but I can't remember. It was someone made a panel, and it was like a guy like, yes, I finally did it. Are you proud of me, developers? And then it goes to the studio, and there's a dude on a computer and a guy behind him drinking coffee, and he's like, this guy beat the game without using any upgrades. And the dude drinking the coffee's like, why? And it's just so funny because it's like all these people are doing these crazy things. And I'm sure the developers love to see how people break the game and stuff. But it's so funny because they obviously never intend for that. And then when people do it, it's just like, oh, well, good for you. But
Yeah,
I mean,
what do you do?
why would you do that?
Well, dude, I mean,
it's fun. I get it. But it's
well,
just
no,
hilarious to me that
the interesting thing about you bringing that up is all of the new, I think it's IGN's devs react.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Those are awesome, and it's so funny because they all say the same fucking thing. They're like, they have these moments that are like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do that, because they've play tested it a million times.
The way that it should be played, though, like not.
Yeah, but also they say like they all at some point are like they just skipped like 3/4 of the game and just completely like ruined all of our hard work. Like that's what they always and usually they have a good attitude about it. But,
Oh
like,
yeah.
I just watched one for Bug Snacks, which is a game I actually really want to play. But
Get that PS5, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I don't have that,
Good
so-
luck, brother.
Yeah, we could go all the way back to episode 48 where it's like not fucking buying the box to play a fucking game, but
I am.
but you are.
Once I can get one.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But the Bugs Snacks speedrun I think is 15 minutes, and they like clip through a wall, and the guy's like he just skipped 3/4 of the game
yeah,
by going through this wall, and now the game's gonna be over in like 10 minutes.
yeah,
And it's just like these poor fucking guys. But the thing is, I think that they are sad that people are speedrunning it. But the fact that they're playing the game at all,
no,
is what
yeah,
matters.
and I don't think they. I
They're
don't
not
think
like
they're gonna.
legitimately sad, but
Yeah.
they're like, oh, well, that's great.
Yeah,
They just
Like,
skipped.
I feel
it
like
all.
it's more like, oh, we missed that. Like
Yeah.
I can't believe that we left that in the game that you can do it.
It's
but-
just it's so fun to see it because you know that these people talking put so many hours into this like piece of art really.
yeah,
And like it's if you've ever worked on something for a long time, like especially if it's one single thing where you have this like really deep connection with it and you think you know everything about it, and you can tell that they're like having these memories of like of making the game and like
yeah, literally
especially
years of
playtest-
their life. People complete in 15 minutes.
Exactly. It's really interesting. I think it's one of the smartest things that IGN, if it's IGN, has done. It's just such a cool way to like have a piece of content like that.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Steve, you can buy a PS5 from Sears.com for $1,049.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to talk about it.
What?
I just want to play Demon Souls Remastered, but we'll get there one day.
Did we already talk about Terraria?
No. I don't have I feel like I don't have a whole lot to say about that.
Well, do you have like 7 minutes worth? Because that's what we got left there, buddy.
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
maybe
just I mean we can chat about it
I
unless you got something else.
I almost prefer to talk about the Halo, but let's get into.
Oh yeah.
Hold
That's
on.
right. Okay, I forgot.
Well, so we don't leave it like that, let's just say the Terraria dev's locked out of his Google account, and literally today, while we're recording on February 8th, he basically posted it's been weeks, and he's pissed because he can't get into his Gmail account, his Drive, his YouTube,
Which
Google
fucking
Play.
sucks.
any of that stuff. He said he has thousands of dollars worth of apps on Google Play. He's been trying to hit him up, hasn't gotten a response, and he said basically, fuck you, Terraria's not coming to Stadia anymore. And that's pretty badass. A, stick it to the man. B, as we know, Stadia is like kind of on hurt mode where they're not making their own games. I don't know. We kind of said we thought maybe they're going to sell, but even if it's not that, if they're just going to try to work with other publishers, they kind of want as many games as they.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think everyone's consensus over the situation is that Stadia is dead now.
Yeah, pretty
Really?
much.
I mean, yeah, I saw like 3 videos I didn't watch, but the thumbnail was like, Stadia's dead?
Without exclusives. I mean,
Stadia-
no one's gonna go to your platform. Like, it's a cool
Stupid
idea,
fucking
but
thumbnails.
it is tight. But again, we said, who's it for? Like,
Yeah.
anyone that's playing games is buying a console or a
Yeah.
PC. I'm not buying a Chromebook or a Chromecast and like I'm gonna try to get into big games,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I think it made gaming more accessible, and I feel like I've already said
No,
all
yeah,
this,
it's
but,
great.
Like it was a cool idea, made it
It
more
was ahead of
accessible
its
to
time.
everyone.
but it's niche
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
So, I don't know.
Here's my question.
It's like the Quibi of
yeah,
2021.
Quibi, honestly, like in terms of like how much people use their phones, really smart idea. Making content that you can actually watch in portrait mode, like on paper, great fucking idea. But Quibi fucking sucks.
That's why we got TikTok now.
And we got TikTok, and Quibi's shows were fucking garbage.
Yeah, no, that's
and they were hyped up way too much. Like, I don't know. We don't need to talk about Quibi, but no. My question, what I was thinking was, do you think that Google will actually try and help him?
I don't know, because I looked and he's said things a couple times, and when I looked, it had been 6 or 7 hours that he had made those tweets, and he tagged like Google Play, Stadia, like tagging everything he was talking about Google related. And I looked, and maybe they did later, but all the accounts I checked out from Google had not responded on Twitter. And I saw on Reddit someone said that, I don't know, Stadia responded and was like, DM us, but then the tweet was deleted. So I don't know if I believe it because I didn't see screen captures, but even if they did, like, that's dumb to respond and delete.
Usually if you make a big enough stink, they'll be like, hey, we're sorry. Like,
well,
shoot us a DM.
You would think like, oh, it's a small dev, but Terraria is like pretty big, and not that it's going to like kill a console.
No, but it's a huge game and people like it. It's popular. It has name recognition.
This is also not the first time I've heard of Google just not responding to people's accounts being locked. And when they become this giant corporation where, I mean, yeah, my Gmail, my Drive, my YouTube, I don't have any like real important data on there, but if one day I just can't get on, I mean, I'm fucked. Like, I got a lot of stuff that I have in there. I have to redo all of my emails, all the apps I've bought, everything. I mean, he said something, he bought Lord of the Rings in 4K, and like he can't finish watching it because his account's locked. Like,
that's right.
He's like, it's just so funny that is an issue, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm reading it now. Holy shit, I didn't know any of this. I've never played Terraria.
I saw PewDiePie play it like months ago.
I played it a long time ago. It's old. It's done now. Like,
wasn't it like the 2D Minecraft?
In
wasn't
a sense,
kind of
like,
what it was.
That's the salesman pitch, right?
Yeah.
But it's I feel like it's more of an adventure game where, like, with Minecraft, you can go to the Nether and fight fucking big bosses and stuff. But like, Terraria has like bosses you are supposed to get to.
So it actually has like a real story.
But I don't know if I want to say story. I haven't played enough to. But there's like, there are more objectives, I would say, than Minecraft has. But anyways, I mean, it's a shame.
I have a really weird, completely out of the blue subject. If you don't mind me talking about it for 1 second, just maybe people will bond with me with this, relate to it. So you said Lord of the Rings 4K, and I thought like, oh yeah, buying movies on your whatever Google account. So the other day, I wanted to watch Spider-Man Far From Home, and I went onto we have an Apple TV in the bedroom. I went onto Apple Movies, and I go to rent it because I don't want to buy it. Like, I just want to rent it to watch it once, because it's not on Disney Plus, which is annoying, and it's not on any of the other like fucking 9 subscriptions that we have.
Sony.
And I go to check, and you cannot rent it on Apple TV Plus, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. And so we go to Amazon. I'm like, okay, Amazon will let us rent it. Can't rent it you can only buy it for like $15. And so we're like Googling it. The only way that you can rent Spider-Man Far From Home right now, February 8th, is in Redbox.
For real, that's weird.
and none of ours fucking have it, of course. We have like 6 Redboxes in Culpeper. You can't fucking rent it there. So if I want to watch Far From Home right now, I have to spend at least $15 to buy it.
Sounds like a good investment.
No, yeah, I could pirate it. But
I didn't say that.
I'm not trying to get a fucking
we don't pirate
email
things
from
here.
Xfinity, or whatever we have, and so I just think that's weird. Why can't I? Like, they're missing out. They're missing out on my money.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be some kind of contracted thing.
That's so weird, because this article from 2019 says, when will Spider-Man Far From Home be available to rent digitally? If you want to hang out with Peter and MJ for a day or two, You'll be able to rent Spider-Man Far From Home on digital platforms, including the ones listed above, starting on October 1st, which above lists Apple, Amazon, Google Play, Vudu, Fandango now. So let me go to play.google.com.
Unless I'm like it's in one of the weird ones.
And look for
Unless you fucked up and missed it.
And now, remember, we're talking about Apple TV. So if it's not on Apple TV, I can't.
Yeah, well,
I can only buy it from Google Play.
I am convinced. I'm convinced that Redbox wrote a contract with them and said, for this month.
The thing is, they want.
They want me to buy it. I get that, but like,
it's fucking Sony again, dude. Sony bastards.
Yo, man. They got a good console, but all right.
Find me a place I can rent it for the L of G. Like, I don't get it. I know this is so weird, but it's like
maybe I've just like never been interested in watching this movie. So
it's fire.
It's a pretty good movie. I mean, I think
you've seen it and you wanted to rent it.
I wanted to.
They've been watching all the MCU movies.
Yeah, I mean, we watch, and the thing is, it's like we can't ever really watch the Spider-Man movies unless we rent them, and so we end up usually not watching them. But, what the fuck is that?
I don't have an answer.
I feel like in this day and age, it's like, wait, we can't rent it? Like, we can rent literally billions of fucking movies.
I mean, I
can't rent this one that actually I want to rent. I
don't
know.
Like,
it's weird.
I feel like recently I tried to rent a movie. I don't know. I don't do it that often, but I feel like there was a time where I was trying to, and I ended up just buying it. Similarly, where I couldn't find a service that would let me rent it. I don't know. I have to look, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely happened to me. It sucks. It's weird, but it's, again, money probably. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, why get $1 when you could get 15?
I get that, but it negated me from
buying it. Yeah,
like
they lose
anything.
out some. Yeah,
they lost my purchase dollar altogether. It's weird. It's got to be contractual with Redbox.
Why does this picture look so fucking funny to me? Look at his face.
Dude, it's just
I don't have the greatest poster.
He's got like a weird underbite jaw thing going.
Dude, I don't even all other faces, dude. They look at him.
But yeah, they're just like weird, just like hyper photoshopped and shit.
Well, maybe
show this. Dude, I just started following this account. It's called like Bad Movie Posters. Have you seen that?
No.
It's so funny. That's not worth a conversation.
Check it out though.
Yeah.
All right. Just a couple minutes. I want to get in on this. There's not a lot to say about it, so I just wanted to talk to you all about it. Yeah, Halo. Apparently, Microsoft has a posting for new hire for. Sean went down in that moment, but
it's fine. It's just we're gonna be on screen, and it's just gonna be black for a second.
Basically. They're hiring a producer for a new AAA game in the Halo franchise. And
what could that be?
I don't know, because they're making Halo Infinite. I imagine all hands need to be like working on that right now because they delayed. There's probably trouble in paradise over there from what we've heard. But my thoughts, I heard, is VG24? Is that a 24/7? VG 24/7 maybe? There was something that one of these outlets had posted a while ago. Me being a bad reporter, not remembering my sources now.
Dude, you.
They're like, there was something about potentially Halo Wars 3, which real-time strategy games. I don't really care that much. People like those, but okay. And then maybe a spin-off of Halo 5 had like the opposite team that was going against Master Chief, like Locke and all them or whatever. I don't know. I didn't play 5. I skipped that one because I have an Xbox One. Long story short, I don't really care about either of those. The ideas that I've seen people posting on Reddit could be very cool, like some kind of prequel thing talking about the. Did you play? You didn't play 4, did you, Mason? I know Sean and I did, but I don't know how much he even recalls.
Was 4 like ODST?
No, that was
a separate game
story thing. But
I didn't play 4.
We had it, but all right. Either way, so the Forerunners were like another civilization. It's a whole thing. I don't want to get into like the lore of Halo right now because
I can't stop thinking about the
episodes,
meme that came out with the trailer of the guy of like the big bad.
What was his name?
They like put it was like fucked up hairline. Oh my gosh, dude! That I'm gonna put it on screen if I remember.
Are you talking about the
the fucking bad guy in the new game?
Okay, you're not. And it wasn't the big bad, but Craig was what people were calling the one brute that looked like he was like just looked terrible. It was funny, but
that fucking brute photo is so funny because they would like put like they'd put like a smile on him or like a frown.
They even they talked
Oh,
about when they
shit.
were redoing the.
I'm gonna put my camera over there so I don't have to fucking put it on screen.
Craig was never intended to be seen in that condition.
Well, they said something about how they were gonna work on
I
Craig,
don't know
like
if
the
we can
fan
see it.
favorite.
I don't know. Maybe I got it.
Anyways, the main thing I wanted to get to is there were all these cool ideas.
He looks so fucking sad, dude. It's so funny.
It's really bad. I mean, it's fucked up because that game looked really good.
Was
and
it
then-
just a frame?
Yeah, basically,
dude,
he
it
was
was
in a frame. And there's a lot of stuff going on about how the lighting wasn't perfect. It was a test build and they're
Oh,
working on it, but
shit,
people were
That's so
comparing photos of Halo 3 looking better than Craig.
Was he was he getting chopped down?
No, it was. I think the screen just Shawnee.
Holy
fucking
shit, dude.
smile. This one, dude. So
You
God
keep
damn,
doing
I
it,
did
dude.
Again. Where's the smile one?
Oh my gosh, dude! I want to put
Just
him
put it
into-
on screen, Mason.
I want to put it in fucking. I want to put it through the face app and just give him teeth.
Dude.
So he's getting elbowed or
No,
something.
I don't even
and
think it's
just,
like that. I think it
one
just goes
fucking
like
frame.
pans across his face, and people are named him Craig and were ripping on him.
Ripped fucking Microsoft apart for that.
my
343 got a bad day.
Do you guys remember a long time ago? The guy who had the doctor or the surgeon who had the fucked up hairline. Do you remember? This is way back.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, there was this doctor who had this fucked up hairline, and his hair was fucked, and they put it on Craig, and it was so fucking funny. Oh shit! It is really hot in here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's pretty hot.
I'm sweating.
let's just have 1 minute on this. The
Yeah,
coolest
sorry.
one that I
I'm
saw
sorry.
that I wanted to just bring up is someone Silver Dragon 7 I saw on Reddit on this post on PC Gaming said a horror game based on the flood could work. And
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
it'd be cool.
that is the coolest one I saw out of all these, and I saw a bunch of people talking about the flood because they're so interesting. And I remember playing through the Halo games the first time younger and paid attention to the story but didn't read into a lot and was oh, the flood just shows up and they suck. I remember that. And then when you read about them, they're this horrific fucking plague on the fucking universe.
Yeah.
And they get into it in the books and some in the game in the lore, but that would be cool because people are being a ODST or a Marine and having to deal with the flood, not as Master Chief where you can just fucking take a bunch of hits and just shotgun them all in the face as you run through.
That's what I was gonna say. That would be my best guess as being whatever the subordinate to
Yeah.
Master Chief is. It's like a whole story about this one of those troops that jumps in the fucking vehicle, one of those guys.
Yeah. And to me, if you guys have other ideas, go for it. But what I really like about hearing this kind of stuff is that I really feel like Microsoft needs to capitalize on Halo because they have fucked themselves a lot where they were okay, Halo Wars, cool idea, but
Bad
Halo
game.
has such a, well, I don't know, I don't like real-time strategies very
exactly.
much, but it's such a rich universe. It's something like Star Wars where why do they, not as much anymore, but why do they always focus on the fucking Skywalkers? I want more in the universe because it's interesting.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I think that's what they tried to do with ODST, right? And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like that game. So if you were to ask me what I hope that this new position in Microsoft regarding Halo does, would be something around exactly what you're saying, where it's ODST style, where you're not Master Chief, you're just a fucking grunt
Yeah.
in the army. What is the fucking U.S. Oh, jeez,
The
I don't
Space Force.
The
basically-
USSR, no, I forget. It's like USSC.
Yeah, dude.
Master Chief, you want to tell me what you're doing at McDonald's?
UNSC,
UNSC, that's it.
United Nations Space
Sir.
Command. But yeah, I mean, I
Eating
think
this
that would
Big
be
Mac.
that would be cool because Reach tried to do other Spartans,
Yeah.
that was fun. But
I think Reach was
that on
fun.
oh sure, but I'm saying we need more in the universe, even if it
Yeah.
is just Spartans. But I think they really need to go in on that because
I mean, that's the Halo Master Chief. The Master Chief Collection was the reason I bought a fucking new computer, was to
Well-
play that fucking game. And I played all but two. Two was actually one of my favorites, and I played 1, 3, ODST, and I think
Reach.
Reach.
I played Reach first.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Reach. I was gonna say I feel like the campaign could be similar to that of Battlefront 2. Is that the one you were playing?
Yeah.
You know how you're
if
like-
if they did something like that, I mean, that would be kind of cool too. Like
That's what I think it could be. It's like, just a lone stormtrooper, or even like a high up stormtrooper. It's like something like that where it's not the heroes, it's these sub
Yeah.
heroes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think that would be really
That's
interesting.
what I imagine. But
it contained. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It was Halo. Shit. Yeah, it was Reach, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, ODST, and then Halo 4 apparently. But I don't think I've still played that. I've never even touched 5.
Yeah.
Halo 4, was that the last one Bungie did? Or was that 343?
I thought
don't know.
Reach was the last one, but
Yeah, that was, you're right. It was
I
Reach.
don't know.
Halo 4 is 343.
4 was good, but it just I didn't like the multiplayer as much, but
Let's get out of here.
trying to wrap it up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this
We're
has
gonna
been
get
going-
yelled at by the GFs, and it's like fucking 1,000 degrees in here.
Yeah, no, it's been a while, but yeah, guys, thanks for listening. A lot of speed running. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more next time. Maybe not. We'll see.
I'm going to try not to.
What's the episode gonna be called? Like all about fucking speed running.
Yeah, I mean, what else do we talk about? Like N64 bullshit and speed running.
It's probably gonna be just called like way too much speed running or something like that. It doesn't
Dude.
matter.
You're the editor, man. You pick that later.
It'll be Speed Highway. Sonic
But-
reference there.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah, just call it City Escape. Guys, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram, Debuff Pod. Check us out
On
as
the internet.
always.
Thanks for
thank
watching,
you.
guys.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Yeah,
Dude, I was thinking it would do like all of them.
I know.
Yo.
The only one you hit was bruh. Oh yeah.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Debuff is hosted by me, Steve Skeels, edited and mixed by Mason Carlton. Follow us on Instagram at DebuffPod. That's Debuff, P-O-D. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.